Yes. Yeah. They should call Charlie. He should be Charlie Mandela Paradise because all of his memories are fake. All right, Charlie, go sit down and be quiet for an hour, and I'll bring you on.
That's true. Charlie Paradise. What if Charlie Paradise doesn't lie at all? He's just part of that other universe that the Mandela effect.
He's like Charlie is Donnie Darko. He's just skipping between tangent universes. Yep. He's too close to Grandma Death. Do you remember Grandma Death? That was what all Donnie Darko was based on.
No, you know what's funny? I never watched Donnie Darko. I started it with my sister like 2 years ago, and I fell asleep.
You can't watch as an adult.
Well, I fell asleep. So I woke up and she's like, "It was good," and then I was.
It was good.
I missed all of it.
It's kind of like reading Catcher in the Rye in your 30s. It's just not going to hit correctly. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of an angsty. You got to be young movie. I tried to rewatch it like probably 4 or 5 years ago, and it's not that it doesn't hold up well. It's just like you're not as like mystified by it. Yeah. Like everything that was cool is kind of not that cool anymore. So it like ruins it a little bit, but
yeah, I got the same. I'm still gonna finish it, but you do know, anime wise, that Ghost in Shell is a very important movie. Even if you've never seen it, it's like that's why they made an American version of it.
I didn't even know they made an American version.
Yeah, it stars. It's like at live action. Like it stars some big American actress.
Ghost in Shell.
Ghost in Shell. It's futuristic movie. People have like like cyborg parts to them. That's all you got to know. It's the future, and people can have cyborg parts. I watched it, and it's supposed to be anime-wise. Oh my god, this was. But I think it's a little like Citizen Kane. Like the importance to what they did in the movie is more important to how good the movie is.
Sure. Yeah. But like, or Wizard of Oz, probably. It was just like it's the first movie in color. It's it's.
Although out of the movies we've mentioned, Wizard of Oz is the most rewatchable, I would say.
Of the movie, I haven't even sat down to. If I'm going to watch it, I'll watch The Wiz. Give me this, but black. It is February. Also, by the way, speaking of that, to tie all those subjects together, there was something I realized on the Chinese government creating the claw machines thing that. I think we talked about 1 or 2 episodes ago. This is what I think a very important cultural touchstone in our time was like if we look back at culture and we go, where did it fall off a cliff, right? Like we're looking for where everything kind of went wrong. It's when black people accepted anime. Black people accepting anime is kind of what fucked the whole cultural ecosystem up a little bit because first, like you got to think the 2 things, right? Because anime was always just, oh God, look at them, Japanese, Asians, whatever thing that we could kind of compartmentalize and go, they're weird. That's fine. And then, but black people, anything they like, we are like, all right, I don't know, man, they like it, right?
Yeah.
So when black people, however they were convinced to cross that line into anime, we have now kind of fucked the whole thing up. And that's why like every mall has a claw machine and a Labubu store, and like our whole economy now is weed and Labubus.
Yeah.
So like when the moment the black people and whoever was the first one, I don't know who crossed that bridge, if we blame Donald Glover or something, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, I guess the black nerd thing came, but it doesn't.
That's Kanye's fault, I guess.
Yeah, but it doesn't even seem that related because I've seen more growth in this in like this younger generation, which is like the age of my stepkids, and they don't give a fuck about any of those rappers that we could say were the first nerd rappers. Like those are old people to them.
Yeah, but you still don't have to give a fuck about the thing that got you into something still leads the way. Like nobody cares about these kids. Don't need to care about Madonna, but they can still like buy girls. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's I still think whoever tricked, maybe it was the fucking Ghost in the Darkness or whatever you're talking.
It's more likely Dragon Ball Z. That's what it's. Dragon Ball Z is what sold anime to a lot of people.
What was it about Dragon Ball Z that attracted black people to it?
I mean, I can't even say that because to every guy my age, and you're within that range, so I'm surprised you weren't into it, was into Dragon Ball Z. It just was a phenomenon.
But it was like pure dork shit. Like
that's action.
Yeah, but I feel like it lived in a like the guy that liked Dragon Ball Z at my school also wore a flame shirt. You know what I mean? Like it felt very designated into that territory.
So it had that element to it, right? There was those guys there was this guy, his name was also Daniel in my high school. He was so all in with all this stuff.
This is Sanker's Fight Club moment where he realizes that he's created an entire separate high school persona for himself.
Well, if that's true, I moved to Thunder Bay and ended up marrying a Russian girl and not an Asian girl and surprised everyone.
Russians are Asian.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sorry. But anyways, go on.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was those elements, but there was the people like myself, like others who just like, you're a kid, you watch Dragon Ball Z, maybe it headed into your teenage years a little bit. By that time, it was over for me, but it was just a reference now. And then, you know what I'm realizing? Some younger rappers started referencing Dragon Ball Z in songs. Guy who died, XXX Tentacion or whatever, he used to talk about it. Other rappers, and there was even a rapper at that time, same time as that guy who got killed. He named himself after a character in Dragon Ball Z.
Do you think that possibly that's what, like, it wasn't Drake that killed Triple X, that the CIA killed Triple X to try to slow down the Chinese government's
propaganda,
like infiltration of, and again, just for people at home that are going, this guy's an idiot. Anime is Japanese, and he keeps saying the Chinese government. They're making it though. You know what I mean? The Japanese can put the flashing images on the TV, and they might even make the TVs possibly, but China's making all the knick-knacky. China's in there somewhere.
That's true. They're doing the actual manufacturing. And technically, Dragon Ball Z is somewhat based on a Chinese lore thing. Even though it's a Japanese show.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote it, he liked that lore.
Yeah, it's still like...
It's Chinese.
It's not... Okay. We as American culture, and it's hilarious I'm even saying that as a Canadian, so like I almost proved the point by just saying American culture. But we'll take something from another culture and shove it down our people's throats as a way to propagandize something or push something. So there's nothing to say that Chinese people aren't taking the Japanese thing and using it to infiltrate. And maybe claw machines are Chinese. I don't fucking know. But like, are Labubus Chinese? They seem Japanese, but maybe they're Chinese.
Even after our last talk, I still haven't Googled it. I don't know what it looks like.
They're ugly little things. That's supposed to be the whole point of it.
I'm guessing even the spelling. Labu. Okay, it did it for me.
They're Chinese. There you go. Labubu's Chinese, not So that's this is absolutely the Chinese government doing this. And I somehow still blame black people for it. Isn't that impressive? Even on Black History Month. That's part of Black History. This is a Black History moment on the show. I just created a new segment. Every February, we're going to do, every show is going to open with a Black History moment. And this is today's Black History moment. It was the moment in time when black people started liking anime and ruined culture.
I mean, I can't be with you 100%. I do like anime. And in fact, I was watching it right before I came here.
It's not that I even have an issue with the... Idea. If it stayed... Listen, I don't have a problem with, like, bestiality, really. Like, just keep it to yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
Fringe.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure it stays weird. Like, this is the same thing we've done with, like, every fetish and every whatever. It's like... Because people have asked to do fetish parties here, and I have no problem with fetish parties. It's just that, like, I don't like the concept of a community of it, because then it's like... No, you're supposed to be a freaky weirdo. That's the thing. And I feel like anime is the same thing. No, be a freak. Go to Chonky Collectibles and be a weirdo in a fucking weird collectible store. That's where you belong. Black people were never supposed to be referencing this shit. It went too mainstream, and now China's using it to fucking collect our data somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, for the most part, it's a certain, economic class of black people. Like, I don't think poor kids in Chicago
No, I do. I think it's escapism. I think that like you got to think. I think it started with acceptability of black nerds, but that's where the Kanyes come in to the situation because Kanye was a bridge gapper. You know, he was acceptable to hood black people and to dorky black people at the same time, right? So like he's the one who could kind of drag. Like ghetto rappers never used to wear suits and stuff. Ghetto rappers will now wear suits sometimes and things. This is all Kanye, right? So like
it's a little Kanye and a little Jay-Z, which are both their two sides of a coin in terms of
And culturally, how influential was Kanye on to Jay-Z? Do you think that it wasn't Kanye turning on Jay-Z to go do shit with Basquiat and go what like? You know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, Kanye was on Murakami immediately. It was not like Kanye waited 4 albums and then he understood who Murakami was. He understood who Murakami was immediately.
One of the funniest 50 Cent trolls
Speaking
ever was him saying, I mean, Jay-Z is Jay-Z. I mean, he modeled himself after a gay painter.
Jay-Z hasn't been in the Epstein files yet, right?
No. So I watched the video you sent. I just listened the whole way here. But the problem is it doesn't seem that like sensationalist in that they hide a lot of names. And the ones they do show are kind of boring political names.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't really care if that is kind of what I want ultimately. I don't really care if the celebrities are fucking kids that much because it just doesn't really matter ultimately. Like used to just be their prize. You know, like, hey, you did really well, David Bowie. Here's a kid. And you chucked him a 16-year-old and you went on your way. But it didn't affect my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, honestly, at the end of the day, Epstein's dead. Whether he died or he killed himself or, yeah, fine, fair enough. Okay, fine. We assume Epstein's dead.
Thank you.
And honestly, at this point, I'm like 60-40. But, yeah, Epstein's supposed to be dead. Even still, he's probably replaced. Again, I've said this. Who's the Asian Epstein? They said Diddy's the black Epstein. Who's the Asian Epstein? Who's the Saudi? Well, the Saudi kings are probably the Saudi Epstein. Yeah, that one's easy. But, you know, who's the... Another one. Who's the Hawaiian Epstein? That's probably The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably take offense. He's like, I'm Samoan. Hawaiians are different.
Yeah. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
Pineapple N-words. But yeah, it's just, I don't care about celebrity because again, celebrities don't make any decisions for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to not watch American Beauty because Kevin Spacey likes 15-year-old boy butt. Like, it doesn't make any difference to me at all if I enjoy that movie or not.
There has to be one celebrity, though, if you found out was on the Epstein list that you would be like, shit. Not
like somebody that I wasn't already done with.
Yeah, no, there has to be someone you
there's a
respected.
hard one for me already. It's Noam Chomsky. Like, the fact that Chomsky communicated with fucking Epstein is a very hard one to grapple with. And I'm just like, I've been waiting to even decide how I feel about it until I'm like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of things going on there. This is what people do have to understand about the Epstein thing. And I'll say this quickly, and I have a long form bit about it out already, is that it wasn't all kid fuckery. Like, that's not everything that was going on there. It doesn't, at this point, it seems like 10% of what was happening. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a pretty awful fucking 10%. I understand people's emotionally focusing on it. Yeah. But it's like he was a money launderer. And when you're a money launderer, people go, okay, well, you already know the most fucked up thing that can ruin my entire life already. I might as well ask you if there's any kids to fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you've created a situation where this guy you've created a trust vacuum when he's your money launderer, right? Where it's like, yeah, that's the whole ball game for me. Like, it's literally, first of all, we know a lot of people in this list, right? I'm going to prove my case right here. We know a lot of the people involved with Epstein Island. We have pretty good proof. Some of them were involved in some kid fucking. To not dead. Listen, we only have half the files, but from what's been released, we can get a pretty good idea what was going on, right? We haven't arrested anybody. But I promise you, if you could prove any of them laundered money, they would be arrested. You want to know where the charges will come from the Epstein files? It'll be who's hiding the money. Where's the money, Lebowski? It'll be that. Like, they're not going to give a shit about the kid fuckery. That's whatever. That was their thing. They literally instructed to go get guys to fuck kids so that they could have stuff on people. They can't really, the American government might be a lot of things, but they're not hypocritical. So anyways, I'm not going to do a whole episode on this, I think, just because it's like, listen, if you want an entire episode on Epstein, go back in time to when I did this podcast in like 2015 and listen to my episode on it then. Like, I don't know. You don't deserve it. You waited this long to give a shit. You didn't know about any of these things. There's so much of this that was already just fine. Did I need Jeffrey Epstein's emails to understand Wexler's fucking involvement? Did I need to know that Alan Dershowitz represented him, that Bill Barr was his dad was in the CIA, and that he was the attorney general when all this came out and nothing really whatever, and Epstein just happens to also imply that he's part of the CIA. There's a bunch of stuff that implies that Epstein's in the CIA. He's also with Mossad. It's like, just hug and kiss your local conspiracy theorist and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that everything was like, it didn't even seem feasible that this was all true. And that's it. There is nothing. They were all right. I was right. Fucking whatever. If you're a comedian, the open micer that you banned from your show, he was right. Like, you're not. And also stop with the partisan thing, both sides. They're all, if the only person I'm annoyed with right now in this entire Epstein situation, aside from the people fucking kids, is the people going, oh, well, this proves that the Republicans and this proves that the Democrats shut the fuck up. They all fuck kids. Do we not have enough yet? Are we not on the same page? What is it going to take? You know how people always be like, if aliens come to Earth, that'll be the one thing that finally unites us and we can see our common interests and whatever. No, we won't. All of our leaders are fucking kids and we still can't agree on it. Like, nothing will ever unite us. There is no option for us being united. Like, Democrats and Republicans agree on one thing, and that is 15-year-old pussy is tight, wet, and delicious, and that's it. Like, that's the only fucking thing that everyone seems to have across the board, and we're not going to fight them together on it. It doesn't seem. We're going to go, Democrat people, Trump's pretty clear. He's clean. He's come off very clean in all of this. I'm not saying this as a Trump person. He just has. And if you're going to dig your heels in and go, it's just administration's it's not. It's fucking not. It's all a problem. Trump is, I've said this a million times, he was a teetotaler. He was smart enough to go, I'll fuck her when she's 18. Give me a call. Like, he's not that guy. He has self-control.
Dalia.
But yes, like, that's, yes, he will pull a Dalia. Like, but he's going to keep himself. He won't drink because he's afraid he'll look foolish in public. He's not going to fuck kids when someone else knows about it. That's craziness. Think about the guy for a second. Like, I'm not saying he's a good guy and he doesn't do other scummy things and he doesn't whatever, but probably he doesn't fuck kids if he won't have a fucking drink. I just think that's like a reasonable thing. I'm not saying every sober person doesn't fuck kids. I'm just saying his methodology for why he doesn't drink lines up pretty well with someone. And then also just, there's a lot of 18-year-old pussy that can look like 15-year-old pussy. If you really, like, that's another thing that we could all just be honest about here. There's 15-year-olds that look like 18-year-olds and 18-year-olds that look like 15-year-olds. And if you really, like, were being reasonable about the whole thing, just fucking hold your nose and go, ugh, it's 18, but it'll do. Like, I'm sure you'd be fine.
Yeah. You treat it like stepmother porn. If you watch a lot of stepmother porn, they make a big deal about saying step during it.
Yeah.
But or they'll have like a warning at the front where they're like, hey, we're not actually.
No one's saying this is their real mom.
Yeah. We're actors. And then you watch the scene and you forget. So, get an 18-year-old, says she's 15. Problem solved for creeps.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's not his mom of any results. Like, he doesn't know that lady. So, like, that's another level on it. It's fine. You can just, these guys. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, I listened to the video you sent me, and even that, I 100% believe they were abusing minors, which is, terrible. I know people who have been abused. Everything. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yada, yada, yada.
What yada, yada, yada. A lot of the emails that this guy on this channel, who was smarmy as fuck, was going over, it was like, yeah, piece of shit dude stuff, but all the girls they discussed were above age. Like,
yeah, they did. Listen, pizza does appear like 85 times in the fucking whatever.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
like,
yeah. There might be something in there.
Yes.
But the ones that they can definitely say, hey, this is what's going on, they were all, the guy was like, oh, you can tell this is a gross person. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, how old is she? 19. That's great. And it's
New
like,
York or whatever. Yeah.
It's like, that's, yeah. I mean, terrible, but
at the end of the day,
true.
Well, another thing we're going to, I have a bit about it and whatever, and then we'll move on to something else after. But this was about stem cells. This was about a lot more than fucking kids. It was a honeypot operation. He connected people. Like, by the way, I know like 50 versions of Epstein. They just don't have kid pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just people who exist that just connect people, and that's all they kind of do.
Fixers is what they used to call them.
Sure. Yeah. But like, whatever it is. Paige Megan, the Megan boys, great guy. I call him the Jew Mafia. He's this, but he doesn't hook you up with little girls. He has ex-professional wrestlers and Jose Canseco and a bunch of fun stuff he can hook you up with.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. These are just people who have existed. There was this lady who she wrote Ha the Musical. Her name's escaping me right now, but we were friends with her in New York, and she was another one of these ladies where you're like, she had like a Tony Award or like an Emmy or something, and you're like, how did that happen? And you're just like, she's just in stuff. You know what I mean? Like, she's just one of these people. But yeah. Anyways, well, listen, I guess maybe we'll just do like minimal here and there Epstein coverage of things if anything's fun. But like, again, none of this is anything that we didn't already know. You didn't need this. Like, you shouldn't have needed this. Mm-hmm. You kind of don't deserve this at this point. If it took this long for you to understand what's going on, you're not going to get the next part either. So like, maybe just sit it out.
Bigger news going on anyway.
What's that?
Tragic news.
James Vanderbeek?
James Vanderbeek's dead.
James Vanderbeek dead. There was so he was Dawson, right? Or
he was Dawson.
Because I believe that was always Mandela affected in my head that Joshua Jackson was Dawson. And
no. I forget his Pacey. He was Pacey. Yeah, and Dawson, and then what's her name who married Cruz? Her name was Joey in the show. So Joey, Pacey, Dawson, and then there were some others, less important characters. Yeah.
I love that. Will be Katie Holmes' credit forever as just having married Tom Cruise briefly.
Yeah,
Or are they still married?
No.
They're done?
They didn't last that long.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just tumultuous. Like, they were everywhere. He's one of the biggest actors, but he's also one of the weirdest actors. They're married for a bit, and then shortly after, they divorced, leaves Scientology, and just kind of never brings it up again. Gets skinnier somehow.
In your head, when Tom Cruise is jumping on that couch, whose couch is it?
Oh no, don't tell me this is not Oprah?
It was Letterman.
No,
it wasn't. I just thought that'd be a good.
Oh, that's funny.
I just thought it'd be a good mind fuck to things. So okay, so what were you watching on Mandela Effect? Because listen, this whole episode I was going to just dig into Epstein things.
Yeah,
and then I just like. I'm just frustrated with the Epstein, how much Epstein content there is, and we watched this really this Mandela Effect documentary on Tubi, and we got down a pretty Tubi's strong.
I'll check that out. That's what I heard.
Tubi is like it serves the exact function that Netflix was supposed to serve when it came out, which is I just want to throw on a movie I like from the past. That's like pretty decent and just whatever, and that's where they all are now.
And Netflix is terrible for that.
Yeah,
it's actually one of the worst. I would say Prime is actually better than Netflix for like weird old movies that you used to watch a lot, city TV movies.
Yeah. But Tubi will have like all the Kevin Smiths are on Tubi.
Yeah.
You know who's not on Tubi? Cedric the Entertainer.
That's terrible. There's some good movies there.
4 specials, none on Netflix or Tubi. Have you watched the new Cat special yet?
No,
I saw a couple clips. but I haven't.
If my girl wants to watch it, I'll watch it. But I've said this at the time. You know, there was a lot of hype about Cat of like everything he said at Shannon Sharp, and oh my God, he's so funny. I throw out the argument. I still like the guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. He had one amazing special, one really good special, and then the rest were fine.
Yeah, but he's still like, he's a type of fine where I'm never going to like, I could watch the whole special and maybe if it's not his best work, I'm still pretty entertained.
Sure.
And there's a body of work he's put into everything, clearly.
Sure.
You know?
I just think he's overrated in terms of top, whatever comedians.
Killers. Yeah.
He's people have rose-colored glasses because of his Pimp Chronicles and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
He's
I just
fine.
also think there's something fun about he's still that black. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're not getting black Chris Rock anymore. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Jay-Z, Basquiat, Chris Rock.
Right.
You're gonna get, I've been to the Diddy parties and now I gotta kind of retreat a little
Sure,
bit.
yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Rock, the hair is gray from the things you've seen, and like that's not as fun. And I'm the biggest Chris Rock guy there could be.
Yeah.
He's the only celebrity I ever melted down in front of. I fucking just fell apart in front of Chris Rock. I was so uncool. But that's the only guy I've ever been. First thing I ever said to Louis was he sucked and he was going to bomb. That was my first time ever meeting Louis.
Yeah.
He was doing Andy Kindler's when JFL used to be good.
Address of the...
It would not even. They would do these midnight shows, Andy Kindler's alternative show, where this crazy thing would happen. The names people gave a shit would pop in and do the shows. Now you just get local fucking comedians that you could get at your venues normally anyways doing those shows. But back then, Louis C.K. would pop in and do the show. So I was on the show before him. So he's in the green room and everybody's acting like all of a sudden they do comedy. You know what I mean? Like everyone's looking at notebooks and studying their comedy. And I'm like, I don't know why everyone's acting like such a faggot all of a sudden, but it's just Louis. Like you don't think he understands. So, Louis was going on first because I'm sure he wanted to get the fuck out of there. And, they started playing his music and I don't think anyone had said a single word, but like hi to him like the entire time. And not because he hadn't raped anybody in anyone's mind yet. This was pre all that. And, but he's still the biggest comic in the world. And, his music, his Louis is playing. And I just go, hey man, you stink and you're going to bomb. And then he like looked at me like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he processed that I was kidding. He gave me a little smile and then he went and did his thing. And it was like, that was a perfectly acceptable way of, and with Chris Rock, I was just like, Big J was just like, why didn't you talk? Don't you love Chris Rock? I was like, yeah, I don't know, man.
I do want to know, why did you tell Louis that he stinks and he's going to bomb?
Because because everyone quietly understood why the room was so quiet. Everyone was nervous of his greatness, right? Like he was so elevated that nobody would say anything to him. The only thing you'd said to him is he stinks. It was kind of like it cut the right tension. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tension was, we're all weirdly in awe of you. So why don't I tell you suck? And then that'll kind of be like, isn't that, hey, comedy, right? Like, this isn't that uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah, you brought him back to just being one of the boys.
Because what do you think he wants? Like, you think he wants to sit in a green room with 6 nervous Nellies? Fucking, like, that's weird. If I go into a green room and then all of a sudden the other 5 comedians started being really quiet and like looking at their notes, I'd be like, did I rape one of your girlfriends? What happened? Like, what's going on in here? Like,
I did a show once, and now U.S. comedian J.J. Lieberman, he showed up.
Raped your girlfriend?
What?
Nothing.
No, he showed up in the green room and he's just like, look at all these fucking comics. Nobody's talking. And I kind of looked around. I'm like, whether you like him or not, he's right. He's right. It's weird.
It's something that, and I don't know if I've ever told Alex Brovidani, Todd Glass said this about him, but great comedian Todd Glass.
Yeah.
I say closeted heterosexual, but that's I'm going to start making this a thing. I think Todd's lying, everybody. That's why he waited 50 years to say it. He's not gay. Tim Dillon, gay. Todd Glass, straight as an arrow. You heard it here first. But anyways, Todd, we were in Ottawa, and we were all hanging out at a diner. And Todd, me, Brovo, some other people. And Brovidani was like, I'm going to go to a nightclub to try to meet a girl. And I remember Todd was like, after he left, Todd was like, what kind of fucking comedian would go to a nightclub where no one can hear you talk to try to pick up a girl? And I was like, that's an amazing point. Like, that is very telling of who Brovo is that even though he talks for a living, he was still like, let's make sure they can't hear me talk.
Charm is not his quality, even in his comedy. I think he would agree to that. Alex
Brovidani has maybe gone on more first dates in Toronto than any living human being on earth. I think like 11% of the female population of the city of Toronto has gone on a singular date with Alex Brovidani.
Never two.
Stops at one.
Yeah. I know girls who are with other guys now, other comics, and they're like, oh yeah, I went on a date with him.
Yeah.
That was different.
Well, and almost all, and this is why I'm okay with having Brovo around, and you should all feel like he's relatively safe. One, I've known the guy for almost 20 years. He's never harmed anybody. He's never whatever.
Yeah, he's not.
But on top of it,
harmless.
He's gone out with all of these girls, and it's always the same comments. It's never like, oh, he did something over the line. No. It's just, I don't know. He was fucking weird. He seems harmless, but I don't know. Whatever. And that's everyone's experience is just, that was fucking odd, but like, I don't know. He's a gentleman kind of. He says broad a lot.
I feel like one day there'll be, because he's pushed it out so much, there'll be a Mandela effect about Brovo being Batman that he'll be like, no, I was never Batman. Leave it out.
Yeah. So this is where the Mandela effect got creepy. And I think that like, so today's episode is on Mandela effect. I think they're like, it's going to become a larger and larger problem because we have a very, so I guess for anyone who doesn't know what Mandela effect is, I suppose I should explain it. So it's called Mandela effect because there is a phenomenon that a great deal of people have a very vivid memory of Nelson Mandela dying in prison. So that's kind of where this all starts. Now, that's a strong one. Like I understand the basis for the theory coming off of that because a collective like hallucination, we'll say for the purposes of this, of Nelson Mandela dying is like a pretty heavy. Because like he's a person that even if you don't really give a shit, you're kind of supposed to care. Like Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. These were sort of the like India, Africa, I'm supposed to give a shit people. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Where if you ask about Africa, you're like, who are the good guys?
Yeah.
You'd go like, I don't know. And you'd name them probably, right?
There was another one. It used to be Mandela and then...
Rodriguez. He was a musical performer, but he never got paid properly by Motown Records until Searching for Sugar Man came out. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm going to remember it later. And I think there was also a bishop that... Desmond Tutu. Who's that?
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever even really looked at... Can someone look into who Desmond Tutu is? There was also Patrice... Lumumba.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Who's the... there was also Captain Butt Naked or whatever the fuck that guy's name was.
He's more famous, less for good things.
Yeah.
Although that's not true. He the whole point of him was he reformed his life and started preaching. So he is a
good example.
Story. Yeah.
I'm trying to... Mugabe, he wasn't particularly great. Idi Amin. Idi Amin's a little hit or miss.
If you ask brown people, which I'm a descendant of, not a big fan. Indians do not like Idi Amin.
Did not like Idi Amin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Neil the Nutman is a victim of Idi Amin because his parents were kicked out of Uganda, and that's how they ended up here in Canada. They were kicked out of Uganda by Idi Amin.
But now he's a successful nut proprietor.
Yeah, sometimes things turn around, but that doesn't take away the harsh, what I mean?
Resentments of Edie. I mean, yeah, they don't like
That's
him
a
anymore.
hilarious argument because I just realized that's like a Syrian coming here and being like, oh, actually, I can't say anything bad about Syria because I own Burger King now.
Yeah. Were you going to own a Burger King in Syria? I mean, like, honestly, in a lot of ways, there's something to be said. The chemical warfare or whatever, which I don't think was ever true. I don't think they ever used chemicals there, but
Desmond Tutu was an Anglican bishop or something, and I think he was around the same time as. So we're just connecting him to Nelson Mandela too. He was a bishop. He was religious, but he was also a human rights activist. In the same time, anti-apartheid type.
Very silly name.
Yeah, Tutu.
It was like the Hutu and the Tutsi.
Yeah, they probably have a lot of double sounds.
Yeah, I don't. You do get those names out of there, but you do expect a lot more. Like, what part of Africa is the names that lead to like a lot of hyphens, like Afagana, Yanda, Duda?
Sounds West African to me.
Okay,
I don't know.
Does that roll off the tongue, sort of West African?
Yeah.
NFL African, we'll call it.
I think the vast majority of our references of Africans is either South African or West African, even though like now in the new Somalis and they're very popular or whatever, but really,
well, we have a tendency not to consider North Africa Africa.
That's the other part too.
Like Egyptians, we don't consider African.
Yeah, except for black rappers here who talk about how they're not supposed to look like that and they were really just black people, like Nas.
Okay, sure, yeah. But I put Nas in a kook. I'm a not big Nas guy.
Oh, I love Nas. He's one of my
I
favorite
think
ever.
we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
He's kind of Carlin-y to me, where the body of work is too big and there's too much kind of in it, sort of.
Oh, that's
like
funny.
I can't consider Carlin the best ever because a lot of it's just like, if you ever sat in a train and the train next to you starts moving and you think you're moving and you're like, all right, I got it, George. Thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a little too much of that. And
yeah.
And then honestly, that's kind of the part of Nas I didn't like too, is when he started getting into like everything's ancient aliens and shit. Like ancient aliens Nas was a little too
he
much
has
for
that
me.
in him. I'm not gonna lie. He's one of my favorite rappers ever. But there's definitely some songs where I'm like, I don't agree with anything you're saying in the song, but great.
Yeah,
The way you said it was great.
And like, numerology and like, black people really love having their minds blown by simple stuff, card tricks, just number games.
The numbers. My favorite group of all time is the Wu-Tang Clan, and I read RZA's book, and there's a lot of numerology in there.
Also read RZA's book.
Yeah.
Also, probably to be fair, a lot of my understanding of numerology probably comes from RZA's book.
If you read that book,
Yeah.
The Tao of Wu,
Yes.
there's a lot of it. So if you just
yeah.
want to understand what they're talking about, it's all explained in there. It's a really good manual on understanding what they're saying, even if you don't agree with it.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. Yeah, I've thought about that book in fucking years. Tao Wu.
But the Mandela,
Yes. So, all right. So it starts with Nelson Mandela, who didn't die in prison. A lot of people did die when he was in prison because his wife Winnie was having them executed on his behalf. But you didn't know that, Winnie Mandela? Bad bitch.
I know she was very different than him in terms of a little more militant.
Yeah, she was the Malcolm to his Martin, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If they fell in love.
Yeah, which they should have. Wouldn't that have been a great the FBI caught Malcolm and Martin just in black gay love?
This saying that will mean you will lose all your black fans forever.
Yeah,
More from a Malcolm perspective. That
is a tough. That would be. What do you think would be tougher to accept for black people? Was it Bill Cosby was a rapist, or MLK and Martin Luther King were in a gay love
You just
relationship?
said MLK and Martin Luther King.
Oh, sorry, you understand what I'm doing. Yeah, Malcolm and X.
Malcolm and no, that one it would be tougher.
Yeah, I guess as I say that out loud, I guess that's pretty clear which one would be tougher, isn't it?
Yeah, one is a crime and one is love, but still the love
they
one
would rather not the love one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would probably be more turned off by the secret love. So, okay. we're going to go through some examples of Mandela effect, and then I want to see what you think about each one of them.
Yep.
So the Berenstain Bears. I don't know what kind of impact this had on you, but
I had a book when I was a kid. I had one of the books.
Okay. And what is that book? How is that book spelt in your mind?
I'm not a good speller, but in my mind, where I think the crux of the argument it's on is Stein is the ending to it. Baron Stein, I guess, written
is how you remember it.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah. So like the Berenstain, that one is that's kind of my genesis in a Mandela effect. That was kind of the first one that sort of got me. Yeah. I was very convinced these were Jew bears. Like I still have a hard time reckoning that it was like an A instead of an E.
Yeah, no.
Now, what is the reading level of a Berenstain Bear book? When should I have stopped? Like 4?
Yeah, it's like a 4 or 5 year old thing.
And it's not like people wear Berenstain Bear merch or anything.
No.
It's not a heavily pumped brand.
No, it's one of those things you look at fondly if you're like 20 and you're like, oh yeah, I was into that when I was a kid, and that's it. That's the longest conversation.
Yeah. Do you have video accompanying things? Sorry, I see you.
No. Well, I was going to look, but yeah.
Well, I have a lot of the examples here, but it is fun to see other people rail against them. This is the one that I got into today, and it kind of blew this apart for me a little bit.
Yeah.
So the Star Wars line. Are you familiar with the Mandela effect?
Yeah. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Or at least I used to be. Luke, I am your father is actually what? No. I am your father. Yeah.
So I think that's the one that makes Mandela effect easiest to explain, in my opinion. There's a couple of good explanations, I think, and this kind of subcategorizes a handful of these explanations. So one, if you're skeptical, if you do think that we live in a tangent universe, so that's, I explained what Mandela effect is this sort of collective hallucination. But what people think happened, one of the things is the CERN, the Large Hadron Collider.
Yep.
I saw that, by the way. When I went to Switzerland, I did the Montreux Switzerland Comedy Festival in like 2012 or something like that. And so we were performing in Montreux. We flew into Geneva, I want to say. And so the producers were like, if there's anything that you want to do while you're here, like, please let us know and we'll bring you to do whatever. Yeah. And the only thing I wanted to do is it took us 30 minutes out of the way, but we could drive by the Large Hadron Collider. And thank you. And that was it. Because I was just like, if this does like kill all of us, I just want to get eyes on it at some point. Kennedy. Yeah, there we go.
It's freezing.
Yeah, it's okay. So the Large Hadron Collider, it's a Donnie Darko theory. It is that the idea is that there are all of these tangent universes, and I'm kind of inclined to believe this a little bit.
Yep.
I think it's a good explanation for like ghosts. I'm not a ghost guy personally. I know I am in I am running a venue that kind of hinges on the paranormal, but I haven't had compelling ghost experiences in my life. I think the tangent universe thing is a more reasonable explanation, that maybe this is all sort of a frequency, and like there are other frequencies close to our frequency that sometimes blend in. And so the idea is that these corrections, the Berenstain Bears, Oscar Mayer Wiener, CP30's leg and whatever, that these are like little tangent universes that have collided, and some of us have the memory from one universe and some of us have the memory from the other universe, and whatever. Yeah. I don't hate the theory, but as I started walking through all this, I started realizing I think there's a lot of explanation for human error here. So the Star Wars one, right? First of all, if you look at the lines before, it's like Darth Vader asks him, like, Obi-Wan never told you who your real father is.
Yeah.
And then Luke goes, no, but he told me that you killed him.
Yeah.
And so think about that for a second. Would it make any sense after going, no, but he told me that you killed him, for Darth Vader to go, Luke, I'm your father. Like, what is he going?
Yeah.
What is it? A slapstick comedy? Like, hello, McFly, Luke, Earth to Luke, I'm your father. It's pretty simple. Like, he wouldn't say that. It doesn't make any sense in the fucking script. No, I'm your father.
Yeah.
Makes perfect fucking sense when you look at the actual script before the line. What happened is, if you were going to, we have years and years and years of parody. And I know as a comedian, I want economy of words. And so if I was trying to parody Star Wars and explain what I'm doing in the fewest amount of words possible, I would change no to Luke, because that explains the reference out of context much easier. If I, in a separate movie outside of Star Wars, went, no, I'm your father, there's no context there. Mm-hmm. You're not painting a clear enough picture. But if you go, Luke, I'm your father, Luke is going to give you all the context you need now that I'm referencing Star Wars. It's just economy of words. Parodies don't care about accuracy. They care about being funny as quickly as possible. So when Chris Farley is looking into a fucking oscillating fan and going, Luke, I am your father, it's easier to explain the joke that way than it is to go, no, I am your father. So I think, one, parody. The other one, so, okay, here. So that explains... no, I am your father. That one's fine. CP throws leg. That's simple. It's a silver leg that's meant to reflect everything, so it reflects his other leg the entire time. Did you know that CPO 3PO has a silver leg?
3PO, C3PO has it. He has another colored leg. Yeah, that one.
He has one gold and one silver.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but a lot of the time,
people say they were both gold.
Because you first see him in the desert.
Yeah.
Where you're either seeing the desert reflected onto his silver leg, or you're seeing his gold leg reflected onto his silver leg. So you're almost always seeing silvery-ish color or goldish color on his silver leg.
Yes. And the problem with Star Wars 2 is there's a lot of other media by now, even before the prequels, as they're called. So he also could have had a gold leg in one of those, and that's it. Your mind has changed after that.
There's also another thing. Okay, let me spoil what Mandela effect really is. Mandela effect is copyright law. What you're watching happen with Mandela effect is you're watching decades and decades and decades of copyright law being subverted by people. And that we so often see these logos being subverted in copyright law that becomes the logo to us. When people think that Coca-Cola has a little dash into whatever, that's a company, that's China subverting fucking copyright law. When you see a company uses Jif peanut butter, well, they'll have a Jiffy thing on it because they can't put Jif. If you're recreating a logo without permission, you're going to have to alter the logo, right? So all you're really watching is years upon years upon years of people subverting copyright law and then becoming part of your memory. Same thing with, so Americans, we did our episode on Americans saying we have no freedom of speech and how we can't say anything here. Well, not only they're wrong, again, we don't just have freedom of speech, we have freedom of expression. And why freedom of expression is great is because parody falls under freedom of expression. Mm-hmm. So we have much stronger parody laws in Canada than America has, which means if we wanted to make a parody of a logo, we could make a direct ripoff of that logo. But in America, you would have to change enough things about that logo that you could say it's plausibly could not get confused with said product, or you could get sued by that product. Mm-hmm. Now, Mandela effect is almost kind of proving the case point of why you can get sued for using other people's products. Because after a period of time, you might numb people's brains so much to the shit that they think it's Jiffy, that they think Fruit Loops. What do you feel about that one?
I don't know about the Fruit Loops one.
Well, how do you spell Fruit Loops?
Loops.
How do you spell fruit?
Oh, like fruit.
Never been that.
Oh, is it FRUT?
ROOT.
Oh, so it's the double O's for
Double
both.
O's for both.
Here's my thing about some of these is I don't want to give up on believing on the possibility of some sort of Mandela effect, possible different universes is my favorite idea of this.
Sure.
And some of us are possibly either from or just able to tap into those. But a lot of these are explainable by it's just your brain fills in the proper spelling. And
also, we're fucking dumb. Like, it's just also we're dumb and we make simple connections and then we roll with them.
Yeah.
None of this was supposed to be important to us. Like, whether or not Mr. Peanut has a monocle or not was never supposed to be part of the test. It was never supposed to be that if I couldn't remember if the Pringles guy had a mustache or not, that meant I'm in a different universe than the one I started in when I was born. Like, we've now attached these unbelievable stakes to, how do you spell Febreze?
FEBREZE.
Correct. But some people think there's two E's because who gives a fuck? Because who cares ultimately? Who gives a shit? What trick are they playing? And also, why don't they fix everything then? Like, if it's a tangent universe, okay, so how many people were sitting in JFK's car when he got shot?
The driver, him, his wife was in the front and she went back. Maybe.
So you have the answer here.
Yeah.
Like, you aren't completely misremembering. How many people?
So I'm going with 3. Maybe I'm forgetting there was a security guard next to him.
There were 6. There's a 6-person car because what you remember is exactly what happened, which is JFK is in the back row with a security guard.
Yeah.
His wife is in the middle row with a security guard. And then there's 5. The point is a 6-person car. Yeah. And then there's a driver. We all know this because we all remember her climbing back. And that climb back, if you watch, is from the middle fucking seat. She doesn't climb over the driver's seat or over the passenger seat to the back of him and obstruct a driver. At no point in the Zapruder film did you see a driver go, whoa, because fucking JFK's wife got in his lap for a second to climb over the seat. There's 6, right? But if you go to a museum and see the replica of JFK's car, there's only 4 seats. And that's supposed to be proof of Mandela effect, right? Or it's just a shitty replica of a fucking car. Because if the entire universe crashed into each other, why is this so every piece of footage of the JFK assassination, that universe managed to alter in our universe, but for some reason a car in a museum, that was like the one thing that the universe never remembered to correct for some reason? Doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't the universe just fix that flaw?
I guess the argument would be it's not as intelligent as that of like, oh, the universe goes, oh shit, I missed one. It's a random blending of things. So that's how we're figuring out the Mandela is because you're like, look at the red rabbit that ran across my screen. It's a matrixy thing.
See, I am worried about what they're even trying to do telling us this. Because a lot of these I would have never even thought of. Mm-hmm. Does he have a monocle? Is it fruit or fruit? Is it Oscar Myers with an E instead of an A? Is it any of these, right? And what I think the psyop is, right, to use a QAnon term, is the psyop is convince us that this goes on. That this is just something that has always happened, that like isn't like that weird, because that's when they can start doing it. Tank Guy in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
What happened to Tank Guy?
So we've talked about this a couple times on the podcast.
Yeah.
Also bringing up the fact that I was born that day.
Yes.
Tank Guy, he, this is more just people not knowing history. You're telling me, you said people think he stopped the tank.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like more of like a beautiful moment. But really, that's just a picture, and they massacre a bunch of people that day.
So here's what's creepy. And this is where Mandela effect gets very serious very quickly. The Chinese government has been trying to censor the Tiananmen Square massacre since it happened. If you go on Chinese Google or like their version of Google, of course, I know it's not called Chinese Google, but like if you go on their search engines, if you go on their whatever,
It's a Googara.
yes,
Googara.
Googra, Googra, you can't even search Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Nothing will come up. They've been trying to Mandela effect that the entire time. This is a real thing that can be done. Yes.
But what if what if I'm Chinese and I want to walk my way to Tiananmen Square? Can I Google how to get directions to Tiananmen Square?
I imagine it's not called Tiananmen Square anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Like I think they probably have a nice
Xi
new,
Jinping square.
Flowers Market
Yeah.
Square or something. You know what I mean? Like they're just trying to erase that history. So what I get nervous of is that the government interjects this idea of Mandela effect into our heads to allow us this wiggle room to think we misremember things, to go, oh, maybe it's just this tangent universe, or maybe your memories just aren't exactly whatever. I don't know that I didn't remember Fruit Loops correctly. I don't know that I didn't remember Berenstain Bears correctly. Yeah. I only know I didn't because they told me I didn't. I never once ever thought about Berenstain Bears and how it was spelt before they told me I thought it was spelt wrong. Mm-hmm. So did they put all of this into our heads to create the wiggle room to do their own Mandela effect down the line and make us doubt whether or not it's us or them? Mm-hmm. Right? Because now, take Tiananmen Square, for example. I swear to God, they knew Tank Man was killed. Like, it's Tiananmen Square Massacre. There was a massacre. It was always reasonably understood, and it was always believed that the Chinese government was the one trying to censor that, and that's why people believe that this tank stopped. And now, if you ask chat, they'll say, not that he survived, just simply now that they don't know. And because that's the slow roll, create the doubt. Don't just flip it overnight. Don't just whatever. But I bet, and like now that we're relying on these sources that can just be changed. Like we used to go to a library and pick up an encyclopedia from 1968. That's the information from 1968.
Yeah.
It might have been false at the time, but nobody can go back and alter it. Nobody can go back and change what the recorded events were, right? But now you ask chat what happened in 1968, and it can tell you whatever version of 1968 it wants to tell you about. So now we literally can erase history. Now we literally can alter history as long as the only source we're getting the history from is malleable. Great. We don't have newspapers anymore. Congratulations, everyone. Now all you have is articles that are online that can be fucked with. That's it. The trust is in everyone else's hands now. We don't own the fucking records anymore. We have no access anymore to the fucking... It's right there. Look, it's right there. They wrote it in 1972, April 4th. They wrote it. Like, we don't have that anymore.
This might be a good interjection for what I mentioned was the Fruit Loop. It's not Fruit Loops. Fruit of the Loom Mandela effect. Okay. I can play this video for you, actually,
sure.
Even that. Let's make sure these... Although you may want to be warned, after your rant on China, these are Asian guys.
Okay, that's fine. Hasn't been a very China-heavy episode. China.
The Mandela effect is a government experiment. So she was able to prove this. Yeah, so one of the most popular Mandela effects is the Fruit of the Loom Mandela effect, where everybody remembers there being a cornucopia on the logo of Fruit of the Loom clothing, but apparently there's not. And this lady was super convinced that there used to be a cornucopia on the logo, but Fruit of the Loom came out and said that they've never had a cornucopia, basically just calling this lady crazy. And Fruit of the Loom even has a post of all the past logos they had all the way back to like 1893. And basically they're trying to prove that they've never had a cornucopia on their logo. But then someone came out and they actually have photo proof of this, that they found a piece of clothing in their closet with the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo. And then after this, people did more digging and they actually found newspaper articles talking about Fruit of the Loom and how there's a cornucopia around it.
Wait, so this is like the first Mandela effect to really be confirmed?
Yeah, then they literally found government documents of the Fruit of the Loom company mentioning a cornucopia, showing that the cornucopia has been a part of. So did you see the lady that actually proved the Mandela effect?
You know, we rewatched this video 10 times because you're shaving at the time, and
Yeah. I mean,
I do have an explanation for this one.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
And the explanation is, fucking Fruit of the Loom, whoever works there, came out all fucking cocky with their big balls. Fuck them. We never had that logo, and we'll prove it to you. But they didn't do their proper research.
Yeah. They just came out and said we didn't, whatever. Also, like, did Fruit of the Loom get acquired at some point by another company and whatever? Or did they, whatever? Also, again, what's the point of any of this?
For the cornucopia thing? I don't know.
What's the point of lying? Like, what's the deception here, aside from they just want us to think there's a deception? Yes.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. This comes from a family member of mine who can explain this, and it involves China.
Okay. Thank God.
My grandmother's sister was a ma tante Florange, as we used to call her. She was some professor or something. That she was very high, but apparently there was always rumors that she had connections to the government of Canada and stuff like that. There was stuff going on there. She's a very rich woman.
Real
right?
Epstein type.
Not that high, but
Okay.
she had some connections. She was a professor for, what was it, Concordia, maybe? I can't remember.
Cornucopia, Concordia.
There you go. But she ends up later in her life, in her rich, I live in a mini mansion life or whatever, she starts going crazy.
Her Hughes years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she has staff that check on her, stuff like that. And then she starts complaining about cracks that she's finding in her furniture. And she's saying, oh, there's chips in my furniture, and people are putting it there. And then they ask, well, Florange, why? Who's putting these cracks? And she says it's the Chinese they're putting. So we just think racist old French Canadian lady,
Sure.
That's all it is. But then her explanation was they are putting the cracks in there so that people think I'm crazy because I'm reacting to the cracks. They think I'm crazy, and then they can do their other stuff. And she's just off the board now because that's a crazy lady over there.
Are you claiming that your grandma invented reactive abuse? Because that's technically...
I never heard the term.
She's claiming that China is involved in what would be known as reactive abuse, which is where you create like you poke to create an emotional reaction from somebody so that you can then use the emotional reaction against them.
Oh, my brother and my cousin used to do that to me.
Yeah, you would do something until you responded.
Well, they just
and then
thought my temper was funny, so they would just
yeah.
do it so that they would see my reaction. And then people think I have a temper, and I do.
Sure.
But
But
it was
being
poked.
prodded
I was
to-
poked
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. That's called a reactive abuse.
But yes, what if some of this Mandela stuff is it's smoke screen, it's confusion, it's to make us look like we're crazy. And then you end up with little Alex Jonesies. Part of the problem with Alex Jones is even if he's right, he looks wrong.
He's an entertainer and he has to put, as Patrice O'Neill said, marbles in his ass.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if everything you're saying is correct. If you're putting marbles in your ass, nobody's going to believe you. So
Yeah. This motherfucker's got marbles in his ass.
Yeah.
I remember.
which is like when people go, why is Alex Jones allowed to exist? It's like, well, that's why, because
Yeah.
the guy occasionally puts marbles in his ass, and that discredits the entire thing. I mean, does anyone deserve a bigger? Should we not just go fund me Alex Jones the like $8 billion he lost or whatever as like a thank you and a sorry? Like, at what point, like, do we just owe like a national apology to there should be a month called Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to spend a month apologizing to the indigenous and the blacks and the whatever and everybody, like, Alex Jones deserves that level of apology, because he literally has done nothing but try to save us from ourselves
Yep.
for fucking 2 decades. And all we do is sue the man and malign him and call him crazy and push him off the edge. And it's like the guy's fucking been nothing but right this whole time.
I'll tie this into your favorite sport. What is a good 3-point shooting percentage in basketball?
Yeah, if you're hitting above 35%, they'll say that you're a good shooter.
Exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say Alex Jones has been right about at least 35% of the things
Yeah.
he said? Yet we love these basketball players, but we don't give no credit to.
This is the problem. Alex's problem is, this is what a lot of people's problem is he exists inside of an attention economy. And when you exist inside of an attention economy, you just have to keep saying things. So it's like, this is why I don't want to talk about Epstein that much, because I don't need to just contribute more of the same things into the fucking same void everyone else is saying the same things into. It's like, yeah, we live in an attention economy. That's why. So he has to say a bunch of stuff. And if you just keep saying a bunch of stuff, some of it's going to be stupid.
Yeah.
You know, It's like, why is the news so bad? Well, because it's on all day. Like, if it wasn't on all day, someone would have to sit down and think about it for a second. But instead, it's on all day. So what the fuck do they care? They just go, tell them about the missing plane some more. Is the plane still missing? Let's talk about the fucking missing plane.
Yep.
Plane. Now Nancy fucking Guthrie. Whatever, Arlo Guthrie's aunt. That's not true, and nobody in the room knows who Arlo Guthrie is. So,
I don't. I have no
that's
idea.
fine. But yeah, the lady that's missing and dead, and we have to now. By the way, if you have a ring cam, you're a fucking retard and part of the problem. Get rid of your ring cams and your Nests and all of your things. Do you have a ring cam?
My parents' house when I lived there recently.
It's just they're on all the time. They're going to be used against us. Please stop. I understand you're old and you feel afraid, and now they're going to use this missing dead lady to like do a bunch of stuff with these cameras. These cameras are a problem. Don't tell me you hate ICE and have a ring cam. Those two things are not going to be compatible. They are finding these people on your ring cams. I promise you. They are looking up your dogs, your grandmas, and your immigrant neighbors. That's what they're finding on ring cameras. So if you have one, you are helping ICE. Just know that. They don't need to ask your permission. You've signed all your permission away. All the things you clicked when you didn't give a fuck, all those things said, we're going to shoot Honduran people in the face off because of your camera, and you can't say no. That's what you clicked. You actually clicked it. This is how retarded we are. You literally, the terms were, we are, and then you click the check, going, clicked it, to, shoot, clicked it, Hondurans, clicked it, in, clicked it, the face, clicked it. And so that it kept in the face on one.
Yeah. I probably still will own a ring cam again one day, but
it's just it's the same. Your DNA tests, yes, they're going to use them again. Like, this is what nobody understands. Like, everybody is so. We just got in a run of watching CBC Marketplaces, and it's like nobody understands perverse incentives. It's like the world is the most easy fucking thing in the world to understand, as long as you just understand that everyone is working on their own perverse incentives. Like, it was a whole article about how this one lady wanted to do 1% commission on her home, and none of the real estate agents in the area would like bring their clients to her house because they're only making 1% instead of 2%. So like, of course, that's perverse incentives. It doesn't take a 20-minute CBC investigation to go, yeah, lady, you tried to save $5,000 and it's blowing up in your face, you fucking idiot. Why don't we do a expose on why you're cheap and how it hurts your life? It'd be just as interesting. But anyways, the point is, just look at fucking perverse incentives with everything. And like, if you want to understand Epstein and you want to understand whatever, you want to understand everything. It's just, what are the incentives for every individual in that situation? It'll probably run towards that. And what's the incentive to make us all believe that nothing we know is real and can just be changed at any time? And that it's not that they're trying to do that to us. It's that whatever, like, and probably some of them are real, honestly. The truth is that a lot of them are probably bullshit, but they probably do throw a couple real ones in there just to make it a little worse. Throw Fruit of the Looms in there. I don't know. Okay, here, I'm going to read you the list. How long have we been doing?
Yeah, we're at 110.
110, shit. And we'll get Charlie on for a minute. If he's awake. He's awake. Berenstein Bears. Real Mandela effect, or we're just retarded? What do you think?
No, I think that's just we just never looked.
Yeah, it's anti-Semitism. We'll say we
Sure.
just didn't want those bears to be Jews. Oscar Mayer Wiener. Oh, what is your Wiener's second name?
My baloney has a first name. It's OSC. It's Meyer is the second name. What?
But how do you spell Meyer?
M-Y. I never used to remember that song. I don't remember.
Yeah, it just has an A instead of two E's, and people are confused.
Oh,
by that one.
okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have known any. That
This
one's
is
like
another. Sex in the City is another good one. What is the name of that show?
Sex and the City.
Yes, correct. Again, that's a perfect copyright law thing. If you wanted to do like your own Sex in the City thing, you couldn't write Sex in the City. That's a copyright. They would send you a cease and desist. But if you wanted to advertise you were doing a Sex in the City night, you were doing a Sex in the City cocktail or a sex in, yes, then you're fine. This is how these things happen. Sinbad. I literally got to talk to Sinbad about whether or not he was in a movie about being a genie. He also believes he was not in a movie about being a genie.
Yeah.
That one's just purely racism. That's just that there was Shaq and Sinbad were just two black enough people for us that played genie. They were just black genies. That's it. It was just Shaq.
Yeah, but that one is also guilty of. There was a lot of direct-to-video movies back in the day, which doesn't exist anymore. Now they're just called streaming movies that we act like are good movies. But I think that was like people believed it was possible because they're like, yeah, it was just a VHS thing.
No, it was Sinbad told me to his face, and I believe Sinbad.
Sure.
The only thing that you shouldn't believe Sinbad is if you give him a 10-minute spot, he may in fact do 110 minutes.
Well, especially not now. He's got so much stroke going on that he's going to take a long time.
Out? Oh, that's sad.
It's not as sad as you think. It's sad, but apparently he was a goner and was never going to talk again and had been years. He has a weird recovery out of nowhere.
When did this happen? I met Sinbad in like 2018.
Yeah, it happened. It happened more recently than you think, but they had like this guy is going to always be basically not able to speak, and he's been making a comeback.
Wow.
Miracle.
It's 16. I bet you I met him in 2016 now that I think about it. Tweeted me back. Very nice guy. Then later ran into him at a party. Have I ever told you this story?
I don't think so.
I had to tell Mark Norman this like years later. I was at Mark Norman's Amy Schumer Presents Mark Norman taping or whatever. And I went to the after party, and the only person I was really friends with at the after party was Mark. So I like felt uncomfortable and left. And when I was leaving, downstairs in the bar at the party, I hear somebody yell my name, and it's Sinbad and his opener. And I had just worked with Sinbad a month prior here or whatever. And so I go over and I talk to Sinbad, and I'm like, oh, you guys here for the party? And they're like, what party? I was like, it's a Comedy Central party upstairs. Yeah. So I walk back up into Mark Norman's party with Sinbad. And for years, Mark told the story of how Sinbad came to his DVD release party, and he never knew ultimately that, and I told him maybe like 2 years ago, is that I brought Sinbad to his whatever. So you're welcome. But he never played a genie. No, I Am Your Father. I think I said that. What is a Snow White? What do they say to the mirror?
Oh. Who is the fairest one of all?
But what's the line? The whole line.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
You see, you got this wrong. It is magic mirror on the wall.
Oh, okay.
Again, mirror, mirror only makes sense to us because we think it's mirror, mirror. Like saying mirror, mirror doesn't actually make any sense. Magic mirror on the wall makes perfect sense. It's just for whatever reason, whatever. And again, I'm sure copyright reasons. The Monopoly Man, does he have a monocle? Is he not?
Oh, I've heard about this one. I remember him having a monocle.
Yeah. And then Mr. Peanut does. Now I don't even remember who. Mr. Peanut
Peanut
does
has a
have a
monocle,
monocle.
for sure.
Monopoly Man does not have a monocle. See, but again, I don't know that one's. The Monopoly Man's got a big fat monocle. The Monopoly Man does. Mr. Peanut, but a Monopoly Man doesn't.
Yeah. Like the way you say big fat monocle really makes it sound like it's a euphemism for his dick.
Or something on his dick.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops, Febreze, CP3O's legs. We've got these. At the very end of the Queen song, We Are the Champions.
Yeah.
What is the last thing uttered at the end of that song?
This is too obscure for me.
Oh, yeah, you
We Are
forgot.
the
You don't even know who
Champions.
Fleetwood Mac is.
I saw the Queen's movie.
Of the world. Right?
Yeah.
It did. That's not true. That doesn't actually happen. We've just all made that up.
Oh, so there's no like last time he
Of the
says
world.
of the
Yeah,
world.
he doesn't say that. He just, we are the champions. No time for losers. Because we are the champions.
Of the world. Yeah. That doesn't
And
exist.
it's nothing. Yeah, there is no of the world.
Ah.
That one I could almost, the CIA gave him AIDS. They could have done that.
That could have been a karaoke thing though. Like people just started saying it at the end.
Or there's a famous concert moment where he does it, and then now we just all remember the famous concert. Maybe he did it at the AIDSy whatever one that he did. You know what I mean? Like that one. Or Live Aid. Was it not AIDS? I think we already handled this.
I don't know.
Yeah. But whatever that one was. Jif and Jiffy. Again, I think copyright issue. Cheez-Its. This is another one that I think that people have a problem with. What is the name of that cracker? Is it Cheez-It or
Yeah.
Cheez-Its?
Oh, plural. Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah, it's just Cheez-It. It's just that nobody says, hey, pass me that box of Cheez-It. You would say, I'm going to get some Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
You just use plurals naturally. So, of course, everyone thinks it's Cheez-Its because you're just going to say the plural of the fucking word because it's a box of cracker.
You know, it's a local Canadian one, but not a Mandela thing. But my brother used to get mad because he worked for them. Is it Sport Check or Sports Check? The store.
I think Sport Check.
It's Sport Check.
Yeah, but people say
everybody who
Sports Check.
walks in, they say Sports Check.
Yeah, but that's
because-
like when people say the Burger King. I'm going to go to the Burger King. And you're like, that's technically wrong, but also like kind of right at the
cares?
same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It is the Burger King in the context of this sentence, but it's not the Burger King in that's the name of the fucking place. Anyways. Be careful because ChatGPT will try to start Mandela affecting you. Tank Guy's dead. He got run over. I will go to my fucking grave with this. Tank, do not let the memory of Tank Guy go. All right? When all this Epstein stuff comes out, remember it. Print your documents. Hold on to physical media. Stop letting streamers and the internet and the blogs and Substack and everything own everything you own, because then it can change your history on you. If you have a newspaper, there's nothing they can do. I'm not saying keep all of your newspapers like a weird kooky lady, but like we should have newspapers in existence. Physical media is good and it prevents fuckery. And with that in mind, we'll be back in a moment with this week's Retard of the Week.
Looks
Welcome
like-
back to Retard Rehab. Sorry, what?
Looks like it's on. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So last week we had our first guest on, Josh Thompson, and I tried to defend him publicly to everybody, and mostly I just tried to call it people. I will say, to those names that got censored, you're fucking lucky. I know it was like halfway through the week I remembered to censor them again because I forgot to, and then went, oh yeah, fuck the censoring thing. So you're lucky your names got censored. And by the way, I know you won't do anything because you fucking know I'm right. So it's not like anything's going to happen anyways because you're not going to put yourself on that cross. But regardless, so last week's guest situation got spicy. And so we've been missing this man for a bit because you ran off on us on your birthday. We had a beautiful cake for you that he never got to enjoy, and now you're back, Charles Paradise, the skinniest you've been in a while.
Quite a fucking while. Yeah.
We would say congratulations if it wasn't predicated so heavily on your obvious poverty, but whatever gets you there.
It has been a poverty diet. Yes. I have had to rely on a food bank several times over the last 6 weeks.
Have you met any friends?
No, but they're definitely all convinced I'm homeless to the point where I went in the other day and they stopped me at the door and said, "Did you get a pair of socks?" They literally handed me a pair of socks as though they thought that I needed socks.
Well, and those socks would be inside your boots, which were my boots that I gave you. So they're not that far off.
This is correct. I am actually wearing those socks.
And you are wearing boots that I gave you.
That is also correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
This extra funny because he's known for having stinky feet.
it's because Charlie is also known for wearing the same pair of shoes over and over and over again, even if the weather conditions call for something completely different, which is why he was given said boots, was because of that particular foot problem. That it was Charlie had a no shoes off in the house rule, and that was becoming inconvenient.
All of this is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not homeless.
No, I'm not. I'm actually doing great. I even feel guilty about the fact that I went to the food bank the other day.
You shouldn't. You're exactly who food banks are for. You're in that situation right now. It's a leg up in whatever. You know what I mean? There are lots of scummier people going to food banks than you, I'd feel like.
And I'm really not trying to take advantage. The fact of the matter is I've been unemployed for like 8 straight months. And even though I do have money coming in at this point, I mean, Jesus Christ, I've also got like 6 different debtors, and it's a lot of money that I owe. The fact that I've got money coming in doesn't make a fucking dent.
Yeah. Yeah. Food banks seem. Or what's the best meal you've had at a food bank so far?
I went in, I think it was last Thursday, and they were serving chili dogs and insisted that I take 2.
What do they They just give you one chili dog normally?
It varies. Like, there's a whole lot of things that you can get when you go in, but I tend to prefer the hot meals because when it comes to actual basic groceries, I just go to Shoppers Drug Mart and steal.
Fair enough. I will say chili dogs does not seem like the wisest gastrointestinal choice for a food bank to be offering. That's a lot of the risk of pants shitting for the homeless. I feel like is exponentially higher in that scenario, and maybe not smart.
Fucking place was packed though. I think people loved those chili dogs, but
I hope they let them. Do they get like how long are you allowed to stay? Can you like take a shit after and like make sure can you get the whole process of food in and
I have no idea. I don't stick around and eat there like I'm some sort of fucking vagrant. I take my takeout meal and I go home and eat it while watching Netflix.
Yeah, that's less vagranty. But you can eat there, right?
Yeah, you can. A lot of people do.
Because I would imagine that's a nice social. I think you almost should.
The first time I walked in, I was sat down. I've told this story on stage, but that was when I walked in, and it was when I was brand new to this area, and I was just exploring what the different places were. I walked in, I was sweaty, I was wearing a hoodie, my beat up sneakers, and an African woman walked over to me, literally wiped the sweat off my forehead.
What did she sound like?
She sounded African, like she was born in Africa.
All right, I was just trying. Anyways, go on.
And she wiped off my forehead, handed me a bottle of water.
Ooh, brother, go wipe down your forehead like that.
No, okay. Like actually from Africa, you dick. Like with the the
Clicks?
with the chirp chirp and the clicks. Yeah. And sat me down, and I thought, like, what the hell is this place? What's going on? And then she brought me out a tray of food. And at that
Charlie,
point,
you're gonna love my biscuits.
it wasn't until that point that I realized I'd actually walked into like a food bank soup kitchen. And I was just like, well, you know what? This is the best version of a home cooked meal I've had in a long fucking time. So I just went along with it.
How long do you think until we Uber our food bank food?
I don't know. I bet there are services that do it now.
Yeah, I think it was called Meals on Wheels. I actually think that was the thing that existed a long time ago. But anyways, yeah, listen, don't be too prideful for a food bank. I've known people in better situations than you that have gone to food banks regularly. That's why I asked about the sit down. Pee-wee, who you know, he would eat food bank food quite regularly. He would always try and convince me to go, and I'm just like, I'm not being your plus one at the food bank. It's an odd.
The weird thing is, a lot of times it's actually better food than I could get from one of the local restaurants.
I don't believe that's true. If that's a cope that you're whatevering, but I appreciate it. I guess the closest thing I ever had to a food bank meal was when I lived in Chicago. My family doesn't love me that much, so I would have to take a train to Detroit and then take another train, what's called the Q train in Detroit, from the train station to the bus station, which is Rosa Parks bus station, because every blackish city in America claims Rosa Parks. And then from Rosa Parks, I would have to take the tunnel bus across to Windsor, and that's where my dad would pick me up for Christmas. So one year on Christmas, I took the train. I'm at the Rosa Parks train station waiting for a tunnel bus, but it's fucking Christmas Day, right? So who's at the train station or at the bus station on Christmas Day besides complete vagrants? But I was working an under the table job at the time, so I had $6,000 worth of American cash on me. So I have $6,000 in my pocket, and I got offered a free meal, and I felt inclined to take it because I didn't want the other homeless people to see that I didn't need the meal and start wondering why I didn't need it. I literally ate their chicken to camouflage myself in with the homeless. But yeah, anyways, it wasn't that good, I guess was my point. I would say that there's probably a lot of better restaurants nearby than that.
I'm sure there are, but when you consider the cost benefit, there's obviously no comparison. I mean,
yeah, I like that you tried to put that into accountant terms.
Well,
where you're free food is good.
I just got my first fucking paycheck
Sure.
since July. You know, I mean, holy shit, I can't afford to just go out and be like, hey, yeah, you know what? Here's a big plate of Ethiopian food and drop down $40 every fucking day for it. I'm still getting on my feet. I've got people relying on me paying them back.
It is interesting that Ethiopian food is what you'd think about in that situation when people in Ethiopia are also would love a food bank for the most part.
Bloor and Ossington represent. Ethiopian food is fucking bomb here.
It's terrible. They have crepe like naan. I fucking hate it. Getting regular naan. If Ethiopian food just had naan, it'd be all right, or a pita. But they're crepey. What is that shit called? Injera.
Injera, yes.
I fucking hate that shit.
I fucking love it. I think it's the most delicious goddamn cuisine I've ever eaten in my fucking life.
Wait, are you fucking in Ethiopia? And, by the way, they're not Ethiopians. I want everyone in Toronto to know. They're lying to you.
I'm pretty sure they are Ethiopian.
No, they're Eritreans.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's literally the blood rival of Ethiopians. They have come here and assimilated as Ethiopians to us, but Eritreans are like the rebel. They're like the Tamils of Ethiopia. They're actually like an anti-Ethiopian rebel group, but here they're like, we're not going to spend all the time explaining we're Eritrean, so they just whatever. All those guys are shady as fuck over there. I like them. No shade, but all of them in that area are running like shady business.
Yeah, and 9/11 was friendly fire, and the moon landing didn't happen, and you're a fucking goddamn nutcase.
Yeah, we knew that 9/11 it happened. We just were aware it was going to happen. The CIA had the perpetrators in their sights for months.
They're Ethiopian. You can visually fucking see it.
They're not. They're Eritreans. Ask them. Have a conversation with the people you're talking about for a second.
I dated one for like 3 weeks
and
until she got tired of me.
Didn't respect your intelligence enough to explain to you what a Trayan was. You got something here, Sanker?
No. I just he keeps talking about how he can tell the difference, but they're from the same region
place
in Africa.
Yeah, like they look the same, they smell the same.
And they make awesome food, so I don't really give a fuck.
Sure, but yeah, I don't know. If you're visiting Toronto, don't eat Ethiopian food. I'd say there's just
I'm not a fan.
Salvadorian food, fantastic.
Yep.
Whatever.
Pupusa.
Pupusa's fucking. Pupusa is
way better than injera,
and that's because and you could almost argue, but it's pancakey, not crepey, and that's why it's better.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know you never do. When are you coming back to comedy, Charles?
Today.
All right. I fucking hated that. I fucking hated that. Today, like we discussed earlier, like I was going to say that to set you up for your fucking creepy little line.
The fact is, I'm, for the first time in quite a long while, I'm feeling more like me, and I think I am ready to jump back on stage.
Thank God. And who Charles is, no one's really even entirely sure. But can you unblock me on Instagram now? You fucking homo.
Oh, I didn't actually block anybody. I literally hit the nuclear detonate button on my Instagram account. It's gone.
What was the impetus behind that?
I just had this kind of fuck everybody idea going into the new year, and I just decided to delete the whole idea of Charlie Paradise.
Yeah, Charlie does this periodically where Charlie goes dark Charlie, we'll call it. Well, Darley. What's the opposite of Paradise? Valhalla? We'll call him Valhalla Charlie. That's what happens every so often, where he has to, like, everyone's the problem and they're disloyal friends, even though Charlie's running away from you and telling you you're a piece of shit, but you're a bad friend. He goes dark every 8 to 16 months. Charlie has to go Valhalla Charlie on us.
Yeah, I mean, that did happen, and it happens in other aspects of my life too, but at this point, I am feeling quite good about everything, so for me, that's kind of the impetus. I was never able to do comedy when I didn't feel good about myself or who I was. Comedy is something that's an expression of my positivity, not something that I can reflect with negativity.
Well, we should stop in a second because this is probably we're a little long. But last week, I implored everybody to book Josh Thompson and to not on anything high stakes. Again, I will reiterate, very low stake shows, your open mics, your whatevers. This week, I'll say, make Charlie earn it, everyone. Don't just put him on your show when you see him. Make him properly DM you a request to be on your show and make him go through the process. Hold Charlie accountable. Charlie will not succeed if you just hand him things for being the fucking lunatic that he is showing up. You're not helping him. Make Charlie have to function as an adult to get the things that he wants in life. That's what I'm imploring you to do. All the times that you were going to put Charlie on for no reason at all other than he's chaos, put Josh Thompson on. Make him have to act like a human fucking being to get on stage. No more animal Charlie. No more Valhalla Charles. Charlie has to act like a respectable, grateful fucking person, and then he can get all the stage time he wants. Does everyone understand? Good. How do you feel about that, Charlie?
I'll take that one.
All right.
I had that coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, also, don't book him for anything at all.
He had nothing to say at the time. He just tried to look pensive.
It's because he will do this again. He'll just turn and he'll leave and he'll whatever. You're not helping.
Yeah.
I created a large portion of this man's delusion and I'm probably fairly responsible for contributing to his spiral and his downfall. So now the project is Operation Charlie has to be a grown-up pants guy now. That's the name of it. Charlie has to be a grown-up pants guy now. It's Chigupa. Operation Chigupa. And which is a West African name. Make Charlie earn his position in this, and he has to come to you hat in hand. Hat in hand. Have a good night. Goodbye.